So that was our big one this year. That was like a weekend long one.
I would totally like to see ice caves.
Yeah, we actually drove.
That's really cool.
We drove to Idaho Falls in 2 days from South Texas.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was 20.
Idaho Falls is in the not so pretty part of the state.
No, we stayed we stayed in Idaho Falls to go to Yellowstone.
Isn't that where we went to that quote unquote lavender farm?
Yes.
Yeah, that just so happened to be
backyard.
Yes, it was a trailer. It was a trailer with a little farm that may have had lavender in it at one point, but all of the lavender was, I'm doing air quotes, harvested and on the inside of the trailer that you had to go buy their products.
They did have a few products that were nice. I mean, they smelled good.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we've been to Idaho Falls, and that was pretty much the only part of Idaho we've been to. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Idaho is very pretty, but that's kind of the more mountainy, deserty, high desert area. We live over closer towards the capital.
Okay.
So we kind of have this little, very almost liberal pocket of people.
Oh.
Where we live. The rest of the state is very red.
Okay.
But just kind of we live in the Treasure Valley. And so we have this little pocket of acceptance here.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
same where we're at. Wow, those W words. Where we're.
Say wheel well.
I can't say World War. I can't say that. It's the W words together. I can't say. Anyway, where we're at is the same way. We live kind of by a larger city in our
but it's on the opposite. It's more conservative.
Yeah.
It doesn't get less conservative.
But it was so strange. Before we moved here, I sent out an SOS. We moved here from Texas, and I sent out an SOS, and I was like looking for pagans in the area, because I'm thinking that I'm going to move to somewhere there's not going to be a pagan within like 1,000-mile radius, So I'm trying to prepare for the worst and reach out to what resources we could. And before we even moved here, we had people help, like offering to send us newspapers, offering to the community is so amazingly open-minded here, which surprised the hell out of us.
In those, in the aspects of those small pockets.
Yeah, in the pockets. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was the same thing with the poly community, because we were living in Houston, and we didn't find much acceptance for the poly community. It was so closed, like all the way around. Poly, pagan, even the king community was like very closed off. And it was like, okay, this is a big city, like 2 million people drive into the city a day. And it's like you can't break into any of these little pockets. And
you had to have resumes.
Oh yeah,
you had to have resumes with your degrees and credentials on it in order to talk to anybody there that was like pagan or poly, and you had to know like the secret words and codes to get into. It was like
the handshake.
Come on, people.
But our local kink community has actually done like a 101 class, which is really cool.
Nice.
So like, before you can go, a lot of the people that host parties will make the 101 class like a requirement.
Yeah.
Oh.
And essentially that 101 class, they just go over rules and protocols for our local kink community.
That's awesome. We have
and that is the only barrier that I'm aware of for access to any of the communities where I live.
Here they use the munches,
and I don't
like
even class that as a barrier.
Yeah, here they use the munches, and basically you go to a couple of them, get familiar with people that run the things, and then once they realize you're not a crazy psycho, they're like, okay, well, you can come to these now.
Or if you're the good kind of crazy psycho,
Yeah.
Then they say, please.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Right. And then they keep begging you to come back.
Yeah, we just started a new coffee mingle thing for the poly community. Our first one was last week. It was pretty fun.
Oh,
awesome.
Nice.
Kind of based on, I guess, a munch thing, but just
we have
new people and their families can come, and we had one lady bring her mom.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we have a pagan meetup that we do pretty much every week, and it's kind of the same thing. It's just it's not a it's kind of like an open discussion with open-minded people. It's like, you can come and go as you please, and we just hang out, talk. Some nights we'll talk about paganism, and other nights we'll just whatever happened at work that day, just some for like-minded people to get together and be comfortable around each other.
It's about
Yes.
30 yards away from an extremely conservative religious university.
Yes,
yeah.
extremely. It's
That's better.
It's awesome.
it's so conservative that took to the late 70s before they started letting African Americans in their college.
Yeah.
The late 70s. Like when they told them, it's like, you need to do this, otherwise you're going to have some funding pulled. You threaten their money, that's what happened. So, right.
Yep.
So yeah, we're only a few hundred. We have our meetup a few hundred yards from that place. So,
See,
I don't think it's 100
that would
yards,
like make me want to go have the meetup like on their lawn.
Yeah.
right.
Right in front of their gate for their yeah.
We
their
haven't done
driveway.
that yet. We need to have a picture of us being Polly in front of the...
Or pagan, pagan and Polly.
Yes.
Yes.
We need to-
that would blow their minds.
Yes.
We'll just take
Well, you know
selfies
what
out in
happens if
front.
you show ankle over there? They kick you out.
So Jay's going to go naked?
What? I did not agree to this. It would be skyclad. Just to,
Oh, yeah, Skyclad Rachel on the front lawn.
There you go.
They do have really pretty trees.
They do have trees. Nice.
I could totally dance naked under the oak trees there.
It's sounding like you need to go hug some naked.
I do, yeah. I'll hold a sign, free hugs.
There we
Yeah, there
go.
you go.
See?
Yeah.
This is how it starts.
This shenanigans.
Next thing you know, Jay got arrested.
My, I really like your laugh.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
It's cute.
You have an adorable laugh.
I have friends that use it as a locator.
Yeah.
Awesome.
They could I can always tell when you're at an event.
Do you have any other questions, Jay?
No, I think we went through the list pretty much.
Well, one thing we do with gifts, I don't think we covered
that's good.
gifts.
Oh
We
yeah,
didn't-
yeah, that's
yep,
yeah.
that
I was
was the
gonna.
last thing.
That was the next thing I was gonna ask you. If you had
Sorry.
any advice you'd like to give us.
Well, one thing we found when we combined all of our houses, and I think it's kind of a problem for a lot of people, is we just have a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Way too much.
Yeah.
And especially our kids. You know, they had toys that they had never seen or played with.
Right.
So we kind of sat down and decided that we were going to go for experiences over stuff.
Ooh.
Yes.
And so, like last year for Christmas, we saved up a whole bunch of money, and we invited people from our extended polycule, so from our little Facebook friends group.
Mm-hmm.
And we went out to a really amazing dinner, and then we went to the movies.
Oh wow.
Awesome.
This year, we're planning on trying to redo the kids' living room
Ooh. Yay.
as their Christmas present, and then everybody gets a stocking.
Uh-huh.
So any gift you are given from another member of the house has to fit in your stocking.
Oh.
So
diamond
give it a little bit of
engagement
a
rings.
challenge.
So, Jay, that experiences sound great. You know what kind of experience is coming up? The Tool concert.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you see, I would totally go for that as a, an
Yeah.
experience gift.
I'm sure
type
you
of
would.
thing.
And that ticket would fit right in that stocking, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
totally would.
Mm-hmm.
Totally would. Just saying.
We
yeah.
have a kid that's going to be getting Corn and Breaking Benjamin tickets probably in there.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I've seen Corn, was it, a couple of years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in Houston.
Yeah.
And I got to say, wow.
Yeah.
They still got it. So.
Yeah, they put on a hell of a show. Do
Yes,
you
they
remember
do.
who Drowning Pool was?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're from Louisiana. Or one of the
Yeah,
members is from Louisiana.
I saw them when I was pregnant with my 17-year-old.
Uh-huh.
And big, massively pregnant. And it was right before the lead singer OD'd from alcohol.
Right.
And he walked by me and rubbed my belly.
Aww.
And then went up and sang Bodies.
Nice.
The
Nice.
best night. Like 8 months pregnant, and he's rubbing my belly. I was like, oh, yay.
That's awesome. That's an awesome memory. Yeah. Do you have like a spending limit of, how much? Does it vary from year to year? Do you keep it?
It varies year to year.
Okay.
So like this year, we found one of the kids, C, or one of our girls, C, is a Harry Potter nerd.
Mm-hmm.
Our
She
oldest
can
is like
almost verbatim quote the movies and books back at you.
That sounds
Our
exactly
oldest.
like our
Kinda
oldest.
scary.
Our oldest girl, yeah.
Yeah. And recently, one of the moms S was out at a store and saw this amazing Harry Potter display. And so she grabbed a whole bunch of stuff from that, and that is setting the spending limit for the rest of the kids.
Oh, okay.
If that makes sense. So if we find an item that is just perfect,
right,
that's what sets the spending limit.
Okay.
We try not to be too ridiculous and like, okay, guys, is it over $100 for each kid? Because that's $700.
Right.
You know, like,
yeah, it adds up quick.
We try to keep those sorts of things in mind and have those conversations a lot. And we do. It's every week when we have our pod meeting, our adult meeting, we talk about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I know last year it was with Jay's family. They were doing the buy a gift for everybody type of thing. It's like, and they're like, okay, well, we're going to buy something a few bucks for the other kids and stuff like that. And they're like, oh no, the spending limit is $20. You got to spend at least $20. We're like,
person.
Are you kidding me?
And we're like, I don't think so.
It's like, do you know how much that cost us if we're buying? At the time it was 8 of us, and it was like,
yeah,
that's more money than we wanted to spend. And so we figured out things to do.
So what about family, extended family? Do you guys buy or do things for that, or?
Not usually. That's dependent on the person.
Oh, yeah.
So our pod is really big on personal autonomy. We don't really have a hierarchy.
Okay.
Yeah, which is kind of odd. I know. And we work really hard to deconstruct any hierarchy that we find.
Awesome.
I know that they're like S will buy stuff for her parents and send it to them, or for her brother. My husband Jay will buy stuff for his mom and dad.
Okay.
Gifts for me is not a thing. It's not a love language. It's not a language that I speak well.
Right.
So I just really have never given gifts to people outside of my household.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah, it's dependent on each person.
Yeah.
But
that's an interesting way to do it. I mean, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it keeps it easier too, so everybody's not freaking out over what you're sending to your Metamors family, or so.
Yeah, it does simplify it.
Yeah, and I learned when I was a single mom way back when that if you bought a gift for every person in your family, you'd go broke.
Oh yeah.
Even if it was a $5 gift.
Yes.
So that really, and that probably impacts my gift giving stuff a lot, is I see the dollar amount first.
Right. And even if you try to make it, like last year, I tried to make, lots of years I'll try to make things. But, if anybody is like me, they want to put the best things, the best products into the thing that they're giving.
And it's still going to cost you.
Yeah. So the cost goes up, and then you have the packing materials, and you have the wrapping paper, and it's like all of this stuff adds up. And by the time you're finished, or even find the time to make the product, you're like pulling your hair out.
Yeah, not counting the amount of time you spend making it.
Yeah. And then most of that paper and stuff is not appreciated. Yeah, I guess for me in gifts, it's like I would rather just take you and do something that you're going to appreciate, or give you money to go do something I know you're going to appreciate, or you're going to want to go buy, rather than have to try to figure that out.
Yeah, it avoids those cringy moments in the store where you're looking at something and you've been searching forever, and you finally find something, and you're like, oh my god, it's perfect, and then you pick it up and you see the price tag and you're like, not that perfect.
Or you open a gift from somebody and you're like, oh, it's a pity gift.
Yeah.
Present face.
You got present
Thanks.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or a piece of clothing that is 3 sizes too small.
Oh, yes.
That happened to me one time.
Or 3 sizes too big, and then you get that judgment look, like, how big do you think I am? Like,
I don't know. I actually like clothes that are a little too big.
Not everybody is like that.
You can work with too big to a large degree.
Yeah.
It's just when they're too small, you can't even really pretend. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
I will make a doll of mini me.
Yes.
All right, sweet beans. Thank you so much for joining us today, and
thank you, Mai, for joining us again on
this
episode.
Thank you, Mai. You are awesome. We really appreciate your time and your patience with us through this process, because she's having to deal with all this feedback coming on her end, and
we'll get it sorted out.
We'll get it sorted out. Thank you for being patient.
Yes.
And we appreciate all of our listeners, and keeping it polyamorous is
keeping it poly-real.
Bye.
That's it. Thanks for joining us for this episode. You can find us at poly-saturated.com. You can hit us up on email and ask us at poly-saturated.com. You can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/polysaturated, Twitter at poly_saturated, and you can find us on Facebook at polysaturated. Thanks again.